like to leave now.
Lynn? Maybe?
No, B, you don't understand.
You can't keep me trapped in here. Stop!
I mean, you can go if you want to, but don't. I'm not saying that in a scary way. Don't run away from me.
If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back because I love having you in my corner. Y'all, I don't feel very good. It's been a struggle and I'm going through it right now a little bit. So it's taking everything within me to be in front of this camera right now because I would much rather just be laying down and reading a book, have a nice cup of tea or something. But I'm trying to work on just some self-discipline and really doing the things that I know that I need to do, even when I don't have the motivation to do them. It's actually insane how much effort it is to just be mediocre as a human being, real talk. To like have like a semi-clean house, eat even decently well, cook the majority of the week, stay healthy, and exercise. Not even a lot, just like a couple times a week exercise, and I don't know, just like take care of yourself. All of these things take far more effort than I ever thought that they would to even be a somewhat functioning grown-up. But alas, you know what? We all have difficult days, and we're here now, and I'm hoping that this video is just going to bring you a smile, maybe even a little bit of encouragement. I don't know, but we're just gonna hang out together and we're talking about Bob's Burgers. My heart and soul. This video isn't gonna be anything terribly special. I thought I would keep it simple. I've talked about my favorite episodes, or my top 5 favorite episodes to be more exact, from Bob's Burgers, and I thought, why don't I talk about some of the episodes that are not my favorite? Because not every episode of Bob's Burgers can be a banger. It just can't, not every single thing can be amazing. So I thought I would just share some of the episodes that I skip over, or just don't like to pay attention to, or just straight up do not like. And we're gonna jump into it.
Sorry for the break in the video, but I just wanted to share something pretty cool with you guys. And it's a new coffee that I'm drinking. Yep. This actually tastes really good, y'all. I really enjoy Rise coffee. I just wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about it today. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm a coffee girly. However, my stomach is not a coffee girly. I get a lot of acid reflux and coffee does tend to exacerbate that. But drinking Rise is a bit of a different story. And as a coffee lover, I like it for the taste, but I also like it because of the caffeine. I need a boost for the day to get me going. But I feel like coffee leaves you with a bit of a crash. Whereas with Rise, I think it gives you more of a sustained energy throughout the day, and I really enjoy that. So it's more of a jitter-free energy. It can help with digestion. If you are a person who deals with stomach problems, I feel you, I get you, and it's supposed to be a lot better on your gut. So I highly recommend that, especially if you deal with that. It can help with giving you better mental clarity and getting rid of some of that brain fog that I know that I can deal with. And it can help, support your mood a bit with some of those mushrooms that are in there. It does contain the mushrooms cordyceps, reishi, king trumpet, shiitake, turkey tail, lion's mane. It also has a prebiotic blend in there just to help keep things moving smoothly, if you know what I mean. Rise is USDA certified organic. I know that for myself. I've been on a bit of a health kick this year and trying to take a little better care of my body, and this is a great way to do that. It's got roughly 50 milligrams of caffeine depending on which blend you're drinking. They do have a light roast and a dark roast, and then they also have a few other products like matcha, a chai, a few other things like that if you're not a coffee drinker. And a great thing is that there is no sugar added and it's dairy free. So for you lactose intolerant people out there, you can drink it. So yeah, I feel like this is something that I can drink every day and not leave me with more issues than when I started. I'm drinking the dark blend currently. You can make Rise however you like your regular coffee, honestly. I like to doctor up my coffee, and so I'll add milk, cream, sugar, all that stuff that I would do normally, and it tastes pretty good to me. I feel like typically with mushroom coffees, people will say that it tastes a bit earthy or papery, but with a little bit of milk and sugar, it tastes very similar to regular coffee, in my opinion. Take that with a grain of salt, but I think it tastes pretty good. So you should definitely go and check it out. Do your research. You can find them really easily at risesuperfoods.com. And if you like what you see and you're trying to buy some, you get a discount on me, your girl. I am happy to help you out with a little 15% discount because we're trying to save every penny wherever we can. Can I get an amen? Use the discount code KJB15 to get 15% off of your purchase. They'll also give you a cool little free magnet with it, as well as a wooden stirrer. So check out Rise today, and I hope that you can start taking a little better care of your body first thing in the morning with them.
Okay, so starting off in season 1, bed and breakfast. This is one of the episodes that I straight up don't like. And I think a huge reason is because of my girl Linda. Unfortunately, I might get some hate for that. But Linda Belcher is a very strong personality, of course. And that's a great thing. I think it adds to so much of her charm, but it also is a bit of her downfall sometimes because she can just be far too much. She's very much a pusher. She is that kind of person who doesn't know or understand boundaries very well. And so she'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing because she just has this vision in her mind of how she wants something to go. And when it's not happening, then she just has to push a little more because once she does that, then things will work out. It just very much is on display in this episode. Of course, she has her bed and breakfast and she just imagines herself as the most amazing hostess, which I mean, I do think she, can be a very good hostess. But when the hostees, tenants? I don't know. The tenants who are staying there are not feeling as strongly about this experience as she is. It throws her for a loop and she loses her mind a little bit. So yeah. And she just starts forcing them into stuff that they don't want to do. And it's like, all right, come on now. Like, let's get it together. Lock in, Linda.
This is where we're gonna have the meet and greet, and you're just in time.
Actually, we'd just like to go to our room if that's okay.
Why? Stay here for the meet and greet.
Maybe we'll come back out in a bit.
No, stay.
Just leave people be. If they want to hang out, if they want to have fun and do all these little activities you have planned, then cool. If they don't, leave them alone. But that's not Linda. She does not know how to let anything go, really. So I'm going to try to get through these fairly quickly because, yeah, it spans like the whole show up until the most recent season. But anyways, moving on into season 3, episode 7, Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is the episode where Tina is learning how to drive and they're just in a parking lot with no cars except for one, which of course happens to be Jimmy Pesto's car because of course it is. And she somehow hits the one car in the parking lot while moving at a snail's pace, and it is probably the most frustrating thing that I have ever witnessed.
You have plenty of time to turn, Tina, so just go ahead. Turn one way or the other.
Tina, for the love of God, turn away or stop. The brakes, Tina, on the left. You're about to hit the brakes.
It's like, girl, just turn the wheel. And like, I don't really understand why Bob didn't do it for her. Like, I understand he didn't want to freak her out, but she was already freaking out. So like, let's take some control. Even just like, it didn't even have to be much. He could have just like, slightly moved it right or left. And she just, yeah. So that whole episode didn't need to happen. Like all of the events that happened after that just didn't need to happen because they got into so much other trouble because of this one event. So it just could have been very easily avoided, but I guess it just leaned into like how easily Tina becomes anxious and folds under pressure pretty much. And then moving on into the very next episode in season 3, which is episode 8, and that's the unbearable likeness of Jean. Yeah, back to back, I can't watch these episodes. This one was of course about Courtney Wheeler and her crush on Jean, and Courtney is the most annoying little girl. She's just everything that you would imagine from like a middle school girl. And Jean agrees to be in a relationship with her because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings and stays in it because he likes her dad. And it just becomes unbearable.
Take my hand. I don't care if they're sticky, it just makes them harder to pull apart.
She gets so much better throughout the seasons, and I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, that was a tough watch, and I'd skip over that one. Wow, season 3 had quite a few episodes that I did not enjoy, if you couldn't tell. Moving on into episode 10, which is Mother-Daughter Laser Razor. And yeah, this is another one which is Linda heavy. Unfortunately, there's kind of a trend. A lot of the episodes that I'll skip tend to be Linda focused or Gail focused. This is, of course, is the one where Linda is basically forcing Louise to like her. Of course, Louise is much more attached to her dad. She's a daddy's girl, but she like forces Louise to go to this like mommy daughter whatever class with her to help them bond, and it just is an awful idea, and they end up bonding better over laser tag.
We're here.
Laser tag? A little dated, but all right.
Not that. That. Come on.
No.
Louise, relax. It's not like I'm torturing you. I'm just taking you to an 8-hour mother-daughter seminar.
Linda and Louise episodes tend to be some of my least favorite ones, honestly. And it's funny that I mentioned that because it's a perfect segue into the next episode, which is in season 4, episode 9, which is Slumber Party. And it's when Linda forces a slumber party onto Louise. I think she just has this idea that all little girls want to have a slumber party with their girlfriends and do fashion shows and do each other's hair and arts and crafts and all that, just like very typical like girl things or whatever. And Louise is the farthest thing from a girly girl, as we all know, and so she hates this and basically terrorizes all of these girls out of her sleepover. And yeah, it's just, I do not enjoy that Linda doesn't seem to understand her own child.
Hi, Louise! Slumber party! Woo! No!
Ta-da! Louise, you're having your very own surprise slumber party! Ha ha! Bunch up! Bunch up!
She makes it so clear that she doesn't like this, but then she completely turns around and is like, well, but Louise, you will like this. If I just put it in front of you, you're gonna like it. And it's like, you cannot force people into something, but okay. And then moving into season 6, episode 4, which is Gail making Bob sled.
My apologies, y'all. I am about to describe the episode Dr. Yap from season 2, episode 6, but I will say I also do not like Gail making Bob sled. They're both equally awful episodes.
Another one that I deeply dislike. This is, of course, a Gail-focused episode, and I think a huge reason why I don't like it is because Gail starts to think that Bob is hitting on her, and so she starts to try and seduce him. There's many issues with that, of course, and the unfortunate thing is that Linda allows her sister to seduce him to stroke her ego and make her feel better about herself.
Linda, I kissed your sister. Thought it was you, and now your sister thinks we're going steady or something.
Wonderful!
You're not upset?
No, I'm not upset. Gail is finally feeling happier and healthier, and you want to give her whatever she needs, Bobby.
Because she feels like she has this responsibility to take care of her sister and essentially coddle her, which has led her to enable very unhealthy habits and actions from her sister. So, of course, Gail is basically like a little girl in a grown woman's body. She is extremely immature in every sense of the word. The whole episode was uncomfortable because she's going after her sister's husband and sees no problem with that. And then Linda just allows it to happen. And it's, I know, an episode that many people agree they do not like. The next one is also in season 6, episode 9, which is Sacred Couch. And this is when the Belchers get a new couch because their couch is straight up rank and nasty and stanky and all of that. Louise ends up destroying the couch so that they have to get a new one. And when they do get the new one, Louise realizes that she was wrong and convinces them to go and get their old couch back that's like broken and dusty and crusty. And then to top it all off, set the new couch on fire.
What if we could get you a different couch to burn, huh?
Linda, you're not talking about the new couch.
Why not?
Perfect.
Got the couch back, Mom. We did it.
So yeah, I know that that was an episode for a lot of people that just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I understand the Belchers kind of be moving in just like a weird way sometimes, and some of their decisions are a little questionable, but this was certainly one that people, I feel like, were scratching their heads at. Like, what was the reason? Like, I understand sentimentality and just wanting to hold on to things that hold memories and all of that, but like, there's a limit, you know, and I feel like you just bulldozed past that. But okay, moving on into season 7, episode 13, which is the Grand Mama Pest Hotel. Of course, another Linda-focused episode. Linda is a chaperone on one of Tina's field trips, and Tina decides to make friends with this girl who is like too cool for school and her mom. And so, of course, Tina, being a young girl who is easily influenced, also kind of feels that way. And then because Linda feels like she's being left behind and no longer needed by her teenage daughter, she then has to not take a step back, but yes, push forward, because she's a pusher. Completely like embarrasses herself. I think gets both of them, or gets herself kicked out of the field trip. I mean, it's just a whole thing.
It's not the silent treatment, if that's what you're thinking. Tina, they picked your question? Why didn't you tell me?
I wanted to, Mom, but you were too busy embarrassing me and being crazy.
We have a beautiful water feature in our courtyard, and your wife threw shampoo bottles into it.
Mom,
Yes, sweetie?
you should just go. You really embarrassed me tonight.
But it's just uncomfortable to watch. Like, instead of taking a step back and like having a healthy conversation with your child, you decide, okay, I'm just gonna bulldoze through this and make this thing happen. And it's like, that is just not the way that you should go about this. But I'm aware, you know, parents, they're just doing the best that they can. I understand that. Moving into season 8, episode 17, Boywatch. This one is Tina-centered, and usually I love my girl Tina. Of course, she has her frustrating moments. This is one of them. I can't stand watching this episode. Tina decides that she wants to be one of the junior lifeguards because she sees all of the cute boys, of course, and she's like, oh, I have to be a part of that. They're shirtless. They're like doing all of the lifeguard things. I need to be a part of that. These are the cool kids, you know? But the issue is, as soon as she gets accepted into the junior lifeguards, she is making an absolute fool of herself, but not just herself. She gets the whole team in trouble every time she does something wrong.
Less talking, more stretching.
Hey, how about some of us start a second row back here? Too much, actually. I'm coming back.
Tina, stop messing around.
Or we dive right into sugar cookies?
Drop and give me 20. Everybody.
Why everybody?
This is a squad.
Thanks a lot, Tina.
And I'm like, it's one thing to mess something up for yourself. It's a whole nother thing to mess it up for everybody else. And understand that and keep doing what you're doing.
Go.
That's enough of the water for me today.
We're starting over.
What?
The squad does not finish until everyone can get past the breakers.
So unfair.
And so I feel like it was out of character for Tina in that usually I feel like she is concerned about the group and how she's affecting them. Like, I feel like she doesn't want to cause trouble or break the rules. Like, usually she's very much a rule follower, of course. So it was just interesting. I felt like it was a bit out of character, but not necessarily, because of course she is boy crazy. And so I think that just like took full effect in this episode. But oh my gosh, far too frustrating to watch. She just was not, she didn't take any of it seriously. And I was like, get it together. Unfortunately, the next one is also a Tina-focused episode in season 10. Episode 12, A Fish Called Tina. And this is when Tina mentors a little girl in 4th grade, I believe it is. So Tina is her big fish, and this other girl, I forget what her name is, but she's the little fish, or her minnow, I don't know, something like that. But she's supposed to be her mentor, and this little girl does not like Tina. She's just not about it. And Tina, of course, is wondering why this little girl doesn't like her and can't stand that she doesn't like her. So she is trying to force her to like her, basically.
Hey there, lonely friend.
No, I'm not lonely. I'm just reading.
You can tell your big fish anything. Lay it on me. What's up?
I don't know. I'm reading my book.
What you reading? Scoot over. We can quietly read by ourselves together.
Wait, what?
Wait, so who's Screeching Or?
He's a troll that lives in fern traps and plays the panpipes with...
And it's like, all right, like I get it. From people pleaser to people pleaser, I understand you, and that is valid. I also want everyone to like me. Unfortunately, as I've grown older and put myself out there on the internet, I have only realized and understood more and more that's just not possible. There are going to be many people who do not like you in your lifetime. Some more than others because they are just wildin'. And others who are maybe just absolutely fine and they're not, you know, an extreme kind of person. They're not a polarizing person, and yet there are just still people who are not going to like you. And they may not have a rhyme or reason to it. And if there's not something that you're actively doing wrong, I don't know what to tell you. But Tina just couldn't accept that. So she kept trying to force her way into this little girl's life, and she just wasn't having it. And that was frustrating to watch. So yeah, as you can see, I'm also not a fan of like pushing past boundaries. I tend to stay like 10 steps back from that line because I'm not trying to make waves. So it feels personal, I guess. Moving further in season 10, episode 21, the episode Local Shiro. So because Tina is easily influenced, and Tammy, one of the cool girls at school, said that New York is so much better than where they live, naturally, she now believes that where they live is awful in comparison to New York. And Linda just isn't having it and is trying to convince her daughter that no, where they live is just fine, and finds a singer who was in New York, is from New York or whatever, and moved to their town. And I think because it's this person who's in like pop culture and all of that, Linda thinks that her example will be able to speak to Tina a bit better and that it'll hold more weight for her than if her mom tells her, you know. Basically, they hunt down this singer. Well, Linda hunts down this singer, and it's clear just along the way that this lady has made it a point to keep herself hidden. She does not want to be found. To the point where she's told people around her to tell others if they're looking for her that she's dead. And Linda still pushes to the point where she's like walking through water to go and like sneak onto this lady's houseboat or wherever she lives. I forget what it is. But it's like, what are you doing? That was my face, I feel like, most of that episode. So I don't really watch it.
I think I can make it to the next concrete thing.
Nope, you can't.
Yeah?
Mom, what are you doing? Stop!
I'm a frog!
Mom!
Did I make it? Use me as another concrete pillar. Jump on me and then to the dock. Come on, Tina.
Mom, you've gone crazy.
Jump off my face.
You just gotta respect people's peace, and yeah, that's just not a strength of Linda's. Moving on into season 11, episode 12, Worms of In-rear-ment. This one I don't like for a totally different reason. I don't like this episode just straight up because it's gross. Like, it's just kind of grody. Jean gets pinworms. There's a little epidemic or whatever spreading around at school, and so Jean gets it, and Linda is feeling insecure about her family and her children and being smart and stuff like that, and so she thinks that she needs to take them to the symphony or whatever to make them smarter and help with their brain development. And Jean gets pinworms, and then it just starts spreading to the other kids in the family, and she's still trying to make it work where they can go. But like, because this is so viral and so contagious, it's not a good idea, even if there's one person who has it, to get around anybody else, let alone the whole family getting infected. And she's still insisting that they go to this symphony.
It looks like I can go pick up some over-the-counter medicine at the pharmacy.
Wait, you're going now? But we'll be late for the symphony.
Linda, we can't go to the symphony.
Jean has buttworms.
His butt!
I mean, we don't know for sure that it's pinworms.
Though, if I had pinworms, it would explain the pinworms I saw in my poop the other day.
Jean.
It's like, okay, do not put other people in danger simply because you're feeling insecure about your family's intelligence or whatever.
No, not tonight! We're going out! We're going to see the symphony!
Whoa.
So that was a tough watch. Only a couple more. We're almost there, y'all, to the finish line. Season 12, episode 4, Big Driving Dummy. This one is more of a Teddy-focused episode. I'm kind of surprised I don't have more Teddy-focused episodes on here, because Teddy can be a lot, but it's when Teddy offers to take Bob to go and pick up something for the restaurant. Teddy is a whole lot to be around, especially for Bob, who is an extreme introvert. Also, like, Teddy just makes it his goal to rage bait Bob, I feel like. And so having to have a long car ride with him without any buffers, you know, no kids, no Linda to be a buffer for him, it's like a nightmare. And of course, the whole time he's making this trip longer and longer and longer because he's talking to everybody and their grandma along the way. Finally gets to the place where they need to pick up the item, and Teddy is just being Teddy and extremely frustrating, and they get into a fight.
Call out directions and rotate your hands like you're turning the steering wheel.
Cut the wheels this way. Okay, stop. Now this way.
Wait, which way?
You need to turn the wheels to the right.
Yeah, but I'm looking at you in the mirror, so it's reversed.
Just turn the wheels right.
This way?
No.
Stop. What did you do, Bob?
Me? I did it the way you told me to.
No, you didn't, Bob.
And then when they're coming back, you know, Bob realizes that Teddy has made friends all over town and is really a good guy and wanted to help him out. And, you know, Bob needed to allow himself to just kind of be in the moment and open himself up to a friendship with Teddy, even though he could be a bit difficult to like at times. So it ended well, but that's not to say that Teddy is still not very difficult to be around. So I like to kind of skip over that one, or at least just not pay attention to it. And then finally, the last episode that I am not a fan of, and honestly just straight up don't watch it, is in season 13, episode 21, Mother Author Laser Pointer. Not to be confused with Mother Daughter Laser Razor. And of course, this is another one that people will reference because Linda, again, becomes very pushy, finds out that a lady who is at the restaurant is an author that she really enjoys, who wrote some children's books that she loved and read to the kids, and ends up kidnapping this woman. And of course, just none of this needed to happen, and yet it did because Linda just couldn't let anything go. It's an uncomfortable watch. And you're like, all of this could have been avoided, Linda, if you just minded your own business.
Yes, I want the truck. I've been waiting for a long... What do you mean cancel again?
Oh, no.
Definitely want the truck as soon as possible.
Makes sense.
B, I'm sorry. Let me explain.
Oh, you're coming at me.
Oh, look. The snail keychain.
I'd like to leave now.
Lynn? Maybe?
No, B, you don't understand.
You can't keep me trapped in here. Stop!
I mean, you can go if you want to, but don't.
And I sympathize with her because I can also be a person who cares too much about things sometimes and can just be dramatic and feel a whole lot. But I think Linda does definitely take it a step further in just completely pushing past boundaries and trying to make her way happen to the point where she kidnapped a poor lady. So, not great. But But that is not to say that I do not love Bob's Burgers, because I do. It is my favorite show, hands down. But again, not every episode can be a banger. But if you guys agree with any of the episodes that I mentioned, you can put that down in the comments. I know that there are some that people have mentioned that are actually my favorite episodes. So it's just interesting to see how we all think so differently and what we like and don't like. But I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Maybe if you have any other ideas about things you would want to hear me talk about with Bob's Burgers or King of the Hill or Community, which I will be talking about soon. I just need to do some planning for it, or any other TV show that you might want to hear me talk about. Definitely leave that in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can get the alerts for my videos and so that you can see this face a whole lot more. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye!